Each week we bring you all of the latest film news.
From interviews with filmmakers and actors to the new cinema releases.
Iskä. Mä teen parhaani.
Niin pitääkin.
Okay, first up, Big Game.
Yep, Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, written and directed by John Mari Hollander. Now, you know something about this guy,
Well,
don't you?
yeah, I mean, I first came across this guy in about 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years ago. He did a couple of great films called Rare Exports, which was a great twist on the Christmas Story or the Father Christmas Story.
Cult classic.
Cult classic. Definitely, a lot of people started to notice this guy. Great, keen cinematic sense, and obviously shot on film or shot by someone who wants to be a good filmmaker.
Yeah.
Very cinematic, and a real strange viewpoint. So yeah, someone to watch.
Okay, now the thing that's mentioned about this film is the Finnish locations, which brings us to Big Game, because this is Die Hard on a 12A rating, basically.
Is that possible?
Well, they do they not pull it off? Well, Samuel L. Jackson is the president of the United States. Air Force One is shot down over Finland.
Yeah.
Just at the same time that this young boy. Finnish boy Askari, played by Onni Tomila, is doing his rites of passage walkabout. So of course Samuel L. Jackson is left stranded in the wilderness, pursued by all manner of bad guys, including Ray Stevenson, our own Ray Stevenson, as the head Secret Service guy, turned bad guy, obviously. And of course Samuel L. Jackson doesn't have a clue how to survive. So along comes Askari.
What president does?
Well, exactly. But what's good about this is that Samuel L. Jackson plays against type. He's not the
super cool.
He's not the super cool Pulp Fiction Avengers character. He is a man out of his depth here, and he plays it well. He does play it well. But my thing about this movie is that there seems to be half an hour missing out of the middle act, Act 2.
I think they're right. There's been talk that the writing's not particularly strong.
Yeah, absolutely. It isn't. They've got the set pieces, and they set some of the set pieces up well. Others fall flat.
But if you want to see the set pieces, you look at the trailer. Really.
Yeah, the trailer's got it all, folks.
As always.
But you've got Jim Broadbent in there as a CIA operative. You've got Felicity Huffman in there, and they're underused. Having said that,
Do you think there's a bigger film in there?
I think there's another half hour that they've cut down. I don't know why they've cut down. It's cinematic enough that, again, as we said before, the Finnish locations are used really well. But
snow's good.
Snow's always good. But this pays homage to Die Hard. You've got Samuel L. Jackson in there from Die Hard 3, Air Force One, and Stallone's Cliffhanger.
And of course, Escape from New York, President, crash lands
well,
into
that's
the city.
Exactly what I thought of at the beginning when the Air Force One crashes, and you've got.
As soon as the pod went out, I was thinking Snakes Plissken. Where is he? Where is he?
Absolutely. But instead of Snakes Plissken, you get Snakes on a Plane, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, like it.
So see what we did there, folks. But it could have been better. Like Samuel L. Jackson, he's always great value for money. But
I got the feeling it was a kind of, especially with a European director, you get a kind of feel that it's we can handle a budget, we can handle action, we've got the big star in, similar to what Neil.
Yeah, it's filmmaking by numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Hollywood calling card. We've got the scale, we've got the locations, we can deliver.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
And in that way.
Hellander is a guy to watch. This guy is he's a capable enough director, but I just don't think he was given, enough.
I think Neil Marshall did the same at Doomsday.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It was that type of vibe. I can handle a budget and do all that. I mean, it's not that cynical, but I think there's what you've seen is what you've seen before.
Yeah,
really.
Indeed. Yeah, but I mean, if you enjoy your action movies, I'm sure you'll get a kick out of this. And snow.
What more could you ask for?
Okay, next up, Unfriended.
Brilliant. I love this. This is another take on the well, a variation on the found footage movie genre, its own genre now, easy.
But it is teen horror.
Oh, it's teen. It's definitely, isn't it always? But it is. Yeah, it's teen horror, all done from the incredible standpoint, just looking at someone's desktop. And you might say the whole movie, and you know, I know I did, and I'm sure you did. It's all from this one perspective. But like anything, it slowly draws you in.
Yeah.
You've got these almost, well, it's a live stream.
Real-time narrative.
Real-time narrative, and the whole movie plays out in one sitting of a phone conversation.
Between four
Chat
teenagers.
room. Yeah, and dark secrets at afoot.
Yeah, we've got the theme here is cyberbullying, isn't it?
Yeah, based on a couple of true. Well, obviously there's been some notorious case of cyberbullying where it's led to fatalities, and I think this is what I like, the angle they took on this.
A young girl has committed suicide after having footage of herself put on the internet, etc. And while
on
these
the eve on the first anniversary of her death,
4 teenagers are sitting round communicating, and are joined by a 5th party.
Yes, and it looks like someone's hijacked
her identity.
Dead girl's account.
Or have they?
Or yeah.
Is it somebody back from the dead? But it's so clever. As it evolves, the way they strip away the characters, the revelations.
Yeah, and what's fantastic is we saw it with a young audience, and it's a very young audience band. Anyone with the tech of now, social media, phone, computer, and people talk this way. So I think we had quite a boisterous, noisy audience to start with, and within 10 minutes you could hear a pin drop, and that really was telling for me, because you sit through, and I'm sure you have sat through many movies, people chatting away on their phones, but it seemed to grab people. And are the scares in there? We've
got a few scares in there. Maybe not full on, but I think this is more thriller than horror.
Yeah,
there is a horror element, obviously.
There is definitely a supernatural horror element, but it's a slow burn. It's a slow atmosphere.
Praise to the young cast. I mean,
absolutely,
great. Shelley Hennig as Blair, the lead female. Superb. We've got
he's our director, Levan Gabriadze.
Oh yeah.
He said he was drawn to it for those reasons of cyberbullying. He wanted to do something to do with cyberbullying, so all full marks. Superb. And apparently did these huge 12-hour takes over 3 days.
But it pays off though, doesn't it?
And apparently it was one of the actors' ideas to do this. It was more fractured the way they were filming it, and they said, well, why don't we do it in huge takes? But it works. You might not think it would work, but it really is tense.
10 out of 10 from me for this. Superior thriller.
Great atmosphere. Yeah. Excellent. So modern, so of its time.
Relevant.
And relevant, yeah, definitely. Well worth a look.
Why is he counting down? This is gonna be fun.
So that's it for part 1. So what's coming up in part 2, Tony?
In part 2 we have an interview with another local filmmaker, Hamby Haralambous, followed by our usual roundup of the films on TV this week. See you then.
See you then.
Back to part 2 of Arts Alive Film, and with us today is another local filmmaker, Hamby Haralambous. Hamby, thanks for coming in today.
My pleasure.
Before we get on talking about your latest project, give us a bit of an overview of your career so far.
Well, my career began, I guess, in the 70s when I came back from India and set up a whole food shop, vegetarian restaurant on Hardman Street.
Oh, yeah. Hardman, sorry.
Hardman Street, yeah. And not only did we have that, we had a bakery, we had a big warehouse where cream is now. Mm-hmm. We used to manufacture peanut butter, export foods all over Europe, and then of course punk happened.
Right.
And then I got my band together and that was it.
So you were very active in the local music scene at the time?
Yes, I was. Along came punk, and you know, I'd already, when I'd been in India, I bought myself an old Yamaha guitar and was always writing songs. But when punk happened, it was like, wow, we can do this, we can get on the stage. And
very
suddenly everything we'd been doing before was dropped, and we lived in a big old house in Old Road, 34-room house. And I'd sort of taken over the basement, and we had a little 4-track studio in there, rehearsal rooms used by Dead or Alive, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, kind of formed in there.
I remember those days.
Flock of Seagulls came in and used the 4-track, did their first kind of demos. And then I signed to Virgin Records, got to deal with them, and of course all the money, my whole mentality was that we can do things ourselves. We don't need to, you know, when we had the Whole Food shop, we were baking brown bread. People come all over to buy it. We were distributing Whole Foods, making peanut butter, and the music industry was the same. We signed with Virgin, got a chunk of money and went, hang on, let's use the money to build a studio. So we expanded the 4-track. We built a 16-track studio with a mixing desk that Mike was one of 2 that Mike Oldfield used for Tubular Bells.
Wow.
And we began recording our album there with Mick Glosser.
Okay, so how did you make the move from the music industry to the film industry?
I'd had enough. That studio then developed into the Motor Museum, the Pink Museum in Lark Lane, which was a beautiful, huge studio, designed, custom designed. And I'd had enough after a while. Like, there was so much, I don't know, disrespect from people, or not enough respect. You know, you get an artist who's kind of got nothing, and he doesn't become successful by himself. They become successful through a whole team of people. But unfortunately, many people become successful and think, well, I became successful, I don't need anybody, it was all
I did it
me.
myself.
I just got tired of all
I
that.
heard that one.
And luckily, I'd done a lot of work with and became very good friends with Andy McCluskey from OMD. And Andy always loved the studio, so I sold him the studio. At the same time, I split with my partner, who was we were looking after Atomic Kitten as well. And I just took a couple of years out when my daughter was born. So I sold the studio to Andy, sold all my shares in Atomic Kitten, and woke up one day after 2 years looking after Kiki and thought, I'm going to make films. I don't know why, I just thought it's similar to writing a song, touching people. You can make a film, you can touch people the same way, move people.
Very true.
And the next day I spoke to my friend Paul Simpson from Ex-Wild Swans, and he went, oh, Mitch, a friend of ours, Mitch Walker's making a film, I'll mention to him that you're interested. So he was shooting a film called The Bear Hunt, and he let me go down for a week and hang with them, and you know, I loved it. Yeah.
Mitch is from Liverpool, isn't
Mitch
he?
Walker's from
I know
Liverpool,
Mitch, he loves.
So if it was a quick rundown of your CV so far in filmmaking?
Filmmaking, well, the very first thing I did as a filmmaker was working back in the studio with Andy McCluskey, because at this point OMD had decided to reform the original band and go on a world tour. And I approached Andy looking for some money to make a film I was trying to make about addictions. And Andy said, oh, well, you know, I've just, if you'd have come to me a year ago, he says, but we're thinking of reforming the band. And we're kind of very conscious that we're all a bit middle-aged and old, and we don't think people just want to see 4 old guys standing there. So we want to do some backdrop visuals.
Right.
So I went away and did a little sampler for him, and he loved it. And that was it. So my first gig was doing 24 backdrop films for OMD. And I moved back into the studio, and during that time, Peter Saville called Andy in the international festival that started over in Manchester. And Peter wanted to do a piece of artwork for it. And he asked Andy whether he'd be interested in doing an installation. And initially he mentioned Stanlow. But Andy said, well, we've done Stanlow. How about we make some films about power generating sites? So I got involved with that, because what happened, Andy wrote 5 orchestral pieces of music, 2 with Stuart Kershaw, and I made 5 films of power generating sites. And they were based in an arc around the Irish Sea, from Haitian Nuclear Power Station to Fiddler's Ferry by the Runcorn Bridge. We did Connors Quay, North Hoyle Bank, which is out in the river, the wind farm at North Hoyle Bank, and to Norway, where they empty the lake into the mountain. So we did this, and it was kind of like when we saw the space in Manchester, Andy and Peter felt it wasn't right, it wasn't big enough. So Peter suggested, why don't you get it shown in Liverpool at Fact? So we approached Fact, and we had it installed there as part of the Ding Dong Festival for 2 months, and it was great. It was a huge screen with these power generating sites and this orchestral music. And Andrew Cornell from the Philharmonic saw it and said, "Oh, would you be interested in the orchestra performing this?" And we said, "Yes."
Of course, yeah.
So what happened was a concert was created with the Energy Suite being the first part, which was 5 films, and the second part was OMD doing 15 songs.
Okay.
So the next stage as a filmmaker was filming that and editing that up.
Right.
So that was the next project.
Okay. So have you done any drama?
Yes, I did a film in Ibiza called Ibiza My Way or the Highway, which was a film about an ex-rally champion from the Isle of Man and his life over in Ibiza.
Okay. Well, let's move it on then.
Yeah,
Let's
we
talk
need to-
about
yeah.
the current project you're involved with, about breast screening. Very briefly,
Okay.
What is it
The
about?
most recent project was called The Promise, and it's a film about the harms of the routine screening program.
Okay, this is the breast screening program.
I was approached by an old school friend, and I got involved and was amazed at what I saw. We travelled up and down the country, really, interviewing all the top people involved in the screening program. And
It'd be fair to say this is a very controversial film.
Tell us a little bit about some of the points you were discussing with us before,
Well,
about breast screening itself.
the screening program was introduced in this country in 1987, and it's lots of women go because they think they should. They get the letters, we want you to go, and they don't have to go. Many women are afraid of it because it hurts, for a start. They clamp women's breasts. They use ionizing radiation, which causes cancer, and they do biopsies, which, if someone has a cancer lump, can spread the cancer. They don't offer alternatives to women because they've spent so much money setting this system up. There are safer alternatives like thermography and ultrasound, but the NHS is so locked into this screening program that they just. I mean, so many people have built their careers.
What was the reaction of the professionals that you interviewed? Did you get them pro, against?
We had pros, we had against, we had Sir Mike Richards, who was the cancer guru for the government. We had everyone in the documentary.
Well, you've got a distributor for this, haven't you?
We've got a distributor.
Place at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to ITV, we talked to Channel 4, we talked to the BBC, and they ummed and ahed, and I think that they felt it was too controversial.
Okay,
If we want to see this, and my thing is, how can people see this important film?
Well, at the moment, it's available as a download.
Right.
On the website, The Promise Film, all one word, thepromisefilm.net. It's available on there, and it's available to order as a DVD as well.
Excellent. So one worth taking a look at, I think.
Absolutely.
I think you'll all agree. Controversial, yes, but I think it should be seen. A really important piece of filmmaking there. Hamby, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you again. Thank you so much for coming in.
Really nice. Thank you.
We will keep an eye on your career.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, so we're going to look at what's coming up on your small screens this week. What have we got, Tony? Come on.
Well, on Wednesday, we've got Margin Call.
Margin Call.
This is J.C. Chandler, who also directed a Most Violent Year, which we reviewed earlier this year.
That's right.
This one, again, it's a boardroom thriller, if there is such a thing. It's all about Wall Street, but my God, does it work! It really. You've got Kevin Spacey, Jeremy Irons, Zachary Quinto. It's a great cast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The other one I like is on the same day, on the Wednesday, is The Bank Job.
The Bank Job.
Roger Donaldson.
Roger Donaldson, one of my
did The
favourites.
Bounty.
Yeah.
One of my favourite films.
Australian
But this was
director.
great production design. It really felt 70s. Jason You said you like Jason Statham.
This is my favourite Jason Statham movie.
It's a heist film. It's a heist movie, classic London heist
based
movie.
on a true story.
Yeah.
A heist on a vault in which certain photographs pertaining to the royal family are kept.
Don't give too much away.
No. But yeah, you got David Suchet in there as well. Keely Hawes. It's a neat little British thriller. This.
So come on, Thursday the 14th.
Okay,
What have you got? I'm going for Law-Abiding Citizen.
I'm going to go for Law-Abiding Citizen.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
Very dark thriller.
Well, ultra-violent.
Ultra-violent, yeah. Talk about going from a good guy to bad guy.
Yeah.
In
and notoriously, it was the other way around, wasn't it? It was.
I believe so.
Gerard was going to play the lawyer who needed to be reminded of his morals.
F. Gary Gray directed this.
It's tight, isn't it? Typical Hollywood fare. But I couldn't get away with I couldn't get over the violence I could get away with. But it's a big people's favourite.
Yeah. Now Friday you've got Goldfinger, War of the Worlds, Spielberg's War of the Worlds, Cape Fear, Scorsese's remake. All okay. I mean, Goldfinger would be my best there. But
also we've got
BBC One at 11:50. You've got I Love You Man.
Slappity Bass.
Paul Rudd and it's Jason Segel, isn't it?
I had a film student show me this. Tom, well done. Showed me that sequence, slap of the bass. I was in hysterics for ages. But the whole film, Paul Rudd is.
It's a bromance, isn't it?
It is. It's a cracking.
It's well worth seeing. It's great performances all round. Some smart writing.
Some good films.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, folks, you've got a few there to dip into.
Yeah.
See what you like, anyway. Okay, well, I think that is it for this week.
It is.
Next week we are on Fury Road with Mad Max.
George Miller's revision of his seminal film Mad Max.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. And we are out on the streets with Spooks.
Yeah, small screen becomes big screen.
So we shall see you then.
We shall.